just pretty fatigued, pretty worn out from the weekends. Probably didn't pull double duty on riser overcoming ISOs just to make sure everything's recovering and healing up as well as possible. So that's what we're going to do this morning. So tight here. But yeah, otherwise feeling pretty good. Happy with how the clubbing went yesterday. Wasn't the heaviest weight we've ever done on there, but it felt good. It moved good. Seeing that a little bit more, I think a little bit more down and pressure and hand control. I think I could have won the Levi Nabel match even with the weight discrepancy. So yeah, pretty happy with how all that's progressing. And otherwise, today, just looking forward to just training. Like I said, I've just been excited to train. Talking to a lot of the guys after the event, after the arm bender, getting some feedback, some improvements, bugging some of the bigger names, jumping in the jumping in their DMs, asking for feedback and getting a lot. And I think something I don't usually do too often, but I think I'm gonna change up a couple of things for next week and really commit to them. Because I got some feedback from multiple different people suggesting something to help make my side and back pressure a little bit more connected. I think maybe for me, the Todd Hushing style straight from the side pressure just might not be the route to go for how I access my power and how I get into the lane. Still talking to some of the guys, working out some of the details, but yeah, I think we're gonna change that up a little bit just to help keep my back and side pressure more connected, so that way it's not I'm not doing it in two individual pieces and I'm doing it in one fluid motion. So a lot of people thinking that's kind of what I need in order to progress to the next level and a little bit more roll into the fingers as I'm either attacking more roll and staying high or committing more to down pressure. They're saying I'm kind of like straddling, the line in between, and I'm not really fully committing to either. And that's why I'm having a hard time pinning people despite being significantly stronger in most cases. Yeah, let's see where we end up with that next week. But for today, let's see. Today we have side pressure isos and back pressure isos. So yeah, it's somewhat similar to Tuesday, except for we're just doing like a 6 to 10 second hold, mainly just to build strength, build that lock, so that way you don't just get opened right away. But I do it through a slightly different variation, so that way we are progressing something different and not just hitting the same thing multiple times a week. Anyways, I'm going to do a couple more sets of these, and then we will be back later.
All right, guys, breakfast today, back to scrambled eggs and rice. Only difference, instead of the long grain rice or the long grain white rice, I'm doing jasmine rice. Jasmine's actually my favorite. I really like basmati too. Basmati. I don't know how to say it either way. Really like jasmine. I always look forward to it when that one comes up. Main difference, I just added a dollop of salsa on top. Just wanted to spice it up a bit. And I added some mushrooms in there. I don't know, just had some and thought, why not? But yeah, looking forward to this. Great today. And like I was saying before, just thinking more about, the whole kind of changing up the routine, changing up the side pressure a lot, and kind of by extension, changing up back pressure. I just got so much feedback, really recommending some changes. And what they were basically telling me, and these are all people I respect a lot, and I think they know exactly what they're talking about, and they pull in the same lanes, at the arm bender, and they were just saying that it's just my change just not connected. So, they kind of looked at some of this training that I posted this week and some more things I sent them from the past. And so I haven't fully decided how I'm going to implement it or change up the whole structure of the plan. but I'm going to finish out this week as normal. And then Sunday, because Sunday's super light and we won't have much to do because I only do one training session on Sunday, I figure we'll just I'll go through it with you guys. I'll kind of pull up my plan and rewrite it out, and we'll kind of put it together and see how that goes. But yeah, I'm going to get this food down and then start getting mentally prepared for the next workout whilst I finish up some of my work for today. So catch you guys soon.
Okay, guys, we're here at the workout for today. It's a pretty short workout. We're just going to do side pressure, ISO, back pressure, ISO. Let me see if I can show you guys how I have this set up over here. I have this chain. I have 2 hooks down there. And then I just have a chain going across, and the pulley's attached to the chain. So hopefully that comes out good on the camera. But basically, so it's just, there's no give at all since it's all chain weight. And all I'm going to do is grab my, I'm going to go through supination for this one. So I'm just going to grab my strap here, get into my starting position like so. And then I am going to just supinate, ease into it for about 3 seconds. And then I supinate as hard as I can for 6 to 10 seconds. And then that's just 1 set. Then I'll switch over to the other side, do my right arm, 4 sets, just like usual. And that's what we're going to do for side pressure. And then I will come back again for back pressure. Figure I might as well just show you guys the right arm too. And then also, we didn't do a pre-workout video today because it's such a short workout. I feel like it's kind of a waste of supplements to use pre-workout and all that stuff for this workout. Again, 2 exercises. So it's literally sort of like a 20-minute workout, 15-minute workout. Same deal. Gonna find that position I like to get into for the start. Ease into it over 3 seconds and then really crank as hard as I can. The reason I'm doing it here as well is because I'm trying to work on my center table strength, like my starting power. Like you can set it further down, like if you want to get more finishing power, or, you know, you can lower the pulley and do it from like a low position if you're trying to do defensive power. But I mean, I think as long as the strength is within, you know, a pretty decent margin, or even a pretty big margin, honestly, like 15%. If you ring the start, you could probably beat someone who's actually physically stronger than you, you know, because I think, you know, I think Devin Laird's really strong, don't get me wrong, but I think he's such a master of the setup on the start and taking away opponent's strength that, you know, he'll often win, even if he doesn't win center always off the bat, he does win the start. And yeah, I think it's a really important strength to have, and it's where I want to put most of my emphasis in this training block. So yeah, do that 3 more times, and then we will come back for back pressure. Okay, now for the back pressure isos. Because I don't have a chain set up on the back side of the table, I just keep the chain like as if I'm doing side pressure. I just use this side of the table. It's not super ideal, but I don't think it really hurts anything. Again, just make it easier on yourself, keep it convenient. You don't have to completely rearrange everything every time. This is the setup I'm using. 1 strap in the hand, 1 strap over the wrist bone, because again, it's like hook back pressure that I'm focusing on. So really trying to focus on that and focus on where my strengths lie. So it's essentially just the same thing. So I'm going to get into position, get the ease into it, and then go full strength. So, you know, I think these help a lot with training your nervous system to exert maximum effort, like 100% effort. Because it's a lot different than moving a maximal weight if you've never done it before. It's like you can really, really push yourself much harder pulling into a static object than, or what it feels like with just trying to move like your 1RM or make a new max. So if you've never done these and if you've never just pulled as hard as you can into something, then I highly recommend giving it a go. Yeah, let's see how this one turns out. Oh, left elbow's a little tender. Let's get. Okay, so yeah, that's just how I do. The back pressure portion feels great. Definitely helps prepare for tape today. This will come out Friday, but today's Thursday. So I think it just really helps to make sure everything is feeling good and connected for Saturday, which is table practice. I do table practice with Magic City Arms at 6 p.m. every Saturday. So if you're in the Billings area or if you want to come down and train with us, 6 p.m. on Saturdays is when our main practice is. If you have to do a weekday, just message me or anyone else in the group, Nick Abel, Dalton Waller, Ian, Brandon, any of those guys. And I'm sure someone will meet you down and get some training in with you. But yeah, I'm going to finish out 3 more sets of this. And then that's it for today. See you for well, actually, I'm not going to do a post-workout meal today either because going to go to Famous Dave's for dinner. So I think I'll need to save some macro space for that. But anyways, I guess I'll see you guys then for the third and final workout of the day. All right, guys, here we are at the night session. So like I said, didn't do the post workout because ended up going to Famous Dave's. For everyone who doesn't know, that's a barbecue place, like American style barbecue. Super good. Yeah, and I got what's called the Founder's Feast and killed the whole thing. It was like 2,500 calorie meal. So yeah, definitely didn't need the post-workout or dinner. Combine that all for one. Still gonna do my pre-bed, chocolate milk shake thing. We'll still get some more calories and protein and stuff before bed. That's one of my it's one of my favorite places. What are some of your guys' favorite places to eat? Like for me, one of my favorite post-workouts is Taco Bell. And then here in town, there's a few local restaurants like Carver's or Chow Mamba that just always hit the spot. Hokkaido, the ramen place. I love ramen, as you guys know. So yeah, lots of good places to fuel up here in Billings. Yeah, like I said, I want to know what you guys like to eat after a hard training session or after a tournament or whatever it is you do to recover. Tonight, rice bucket work. I'm going to be doing riser and supination today, along with gripping. So again, just really want to focus on trying to get my riser fully recovered by table practice on Saturday, because I know I'm gonna need it. Sure, Dalton's gonna be there, and pulling that guy is always a hell of a thing. So yeah, let's get into it. Start with the grips. Like I know a lot of people when they do rice bucket, they're just kind of moving their hand through the rice. But really, if you can, try to grab a hold of the rice almost like it's a handle and squeeze it as hard as you can every time you're doing this. And I think it's really good for preventing getting a pump in a match because your hands just get so much conditioning. All right, next we're going to do a riser, which I guess it means you're also doing, I believe the opposite of riser is the ulnar deviation. So you're kind of getting both training here. Yeah. For some reason, it's like I never want to do rice bucket training, but once I am doing it, I'm happy that I am. It always feels super good, therapeutic. All right, supination. Supination for me, I mean, I train it, but seems like it always tires out the fastest. Like the condition's the worst for some reason. Not in an arm wrestling match, but whenever I train it directly, just seems to get much more fatigued a lot faster. But yeah, man, that feels really good. I'm sure after doing that a couple more times, gonna have a pretty good forearm pump going here. especially after getting all that food. I'm feeling, definitely feeling the effects of that. Yeah, no, I think, with some of those changes we talked about earlier to the side and back pressure, um, starting next week, hopefully things start really coming together. We only have, let me see, even 7 or 8 weeks until my next tournament, the Miles City Arm Brawl. So that's enough time to definitely get a good training block in. How much improvement I can make in that time, it's hard to say. I definitely need to get better in a few more spots in order to beat the people I know will be there. Even just to get on the podium might be kind of tough. I'm sure Miles will be there. I think Nathan said he's going to be there. Who else? Dalton. He 99% chance he'll be there. Who else? Oh yeah, the guy that Miles is pulling. He must be a 220, Adrian or something, whatever his name is, and he's top 10 in the U.S. AJ Henson's usually there. Corey Miller might be there. Luke Pulsher might be there. So man, even getting top 6 at Miles City might be might be difficult. Wow, I haven't really thought about that. Man, that's actually kind of crazy to think about. Yeah, Miles City Arm Brawl, guys, in Montana here in April. That 220 class is going to be fucking stacked. Wow, this is going to be a lot of fun. That actually feels super motivating now. Get like that almost like, it's not necessarily like anxiety. Like you get that stomach feeling, Wow, that is freaking awesome. Let's get this next set. Yeah, so Miles City is going to be a really tough tournament. I've typically always podiumed there. Last year I got, I think second on both. No, I got third on right and second on left. Finished ahead of Dalton last year. Man, that's going to be a tall task this year. And like I said, I don't even know, like if we have Luke, Corey, AJ, Miles, Nathan, maybe Clifton. Who knows? Wow, this is going to be a really tough category. Yeah, again, this feels great. Can definitely feel the blood kind of starting to make its way in there. I think I'm gonna do a longer session than usual. Is this just feeling like it's doing exactly what I need it to? But yeah, have any of you guys kind of had a long-term arm wrestling rival that you just always seem to meet up with? That's speaking of another one, kind of like, I don't know necessarily we call each other rivals, but Brian Boussier and I were always seeming to be at all the same places. But after like almost 4 years of being at almost all the same events and tournaments, I don't think we've still not yet to pull fresh. So maybe this year we'll finally get matched up round one and we'll see how that fresh match goes. Well, although I think Ryan will probably be in the 198. I don't know if he'll do the 220. Either way, really got my work cut out for me. Yeah. So another thing, I've been, I haven't really played. I would probably call myself a gamer back in the day, like in the 2010s. But I haven't really got around to playing too many games the last couple of years. The only games I've played all the way through have been Alan Wake 2, Elden Ring, and Resident Evil Village. And I play Path of Exile from time to time. Recently, I got into this game called Megabonk. Like, I've been playing it a lot, not gonna lie. It's pretty fun, it's pretty addicting. I don't know if any of you guys have tried it. If you have, let me know. It'd be cool to see what some of you guys are doing, because it's a fun game. Sometimes it's bullshit, and I hate it. I hate it so much, but I just, I can't put it down. And not too many things like grasp me like that, especially not games. Like, I've bought a lot of games. I've bought a stack of this tall PS5 games. But yeah, no, none of them. Like, I'll start them, and then I just can't get into them. I don't know what it is. I just, I'll play for like an hour or two, or sometimes I don't even really make it past the start screen. Like, I'll just be there, and I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I could be doing something else, and usually end up in here, either training or listening to music, or finding excess work to do that I probably don't really need to. Yeah. Otherwise, no, I haven't been able to. I guess I also kind of, like, not to the extent of Mega Bomb, but I played called Ball Pit. Played that a little bit too. Pretty fun. I think I'm finding more enjoyment in like these arcade style, super simple games than really like these really big AAA story driven, you know, full size games. I guess I don't even know what you call them, but like none of the major games really caught my attention. I do. What came out? I think Call of Duty 6 or something just recently came out, or Battlefield 6, maybe. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think I want to try that. Haven't quite decided though. I don't know. I'm always afraid too that if I get like really sucked into a game, then other parts of my life could suffer. Because back in the day, there was times where I definitely did slack because of I played a lot of the super crazy stuff like Final Fantasy 11, World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy 14, the massively multiplayer online games. And man, yeah, I would spend all my free time, and I would neglect the gym or neglect a lot of things actually in life. So I don't think that anything like that would happen again, just because I have real responsibilities now. But it's just an interesting thought. Have any of you guys been sucked into a game like that before? Can't be the only World of Warcraft nerd that watches this channel. They're kind of extra long sessions there, so I think that'll be pretty good. And we recorded straight through there, so that was like basically what, 11 minutes in the bucket. So I'd say that's pretty good. Yeah, no, I'm really enjoying this series, putting this together. It is for some reason a lot more nerve-wracking for some reason. Huh, I don't know why that just happened. Yeah, it is a lot more nerve-wracking for some reason than doing the interviews. I guess having another person just sitting here talking to a screen, talking to a camera. But I do like going in this direction. I'm always going to support the arm bender in any way I can, or Josh wants or needs me to. But other than just having friends on and having conversations, kind of like what I've been doing with the King's Move, is probably more going forward. I don't know that I'm going to be really focusing on interviews. They get a lot of views, but it's not really about that. All the people I've had on, had conversations with, completely great, and I would talk to any of them again, because they've all become friends now, and a lot of those were great. But the show also brought a lot of negativity, because you're opening yourself up, not necessarily for criticism. I could care less if someone criticizes me, but more just, around, just why they either aren't included for whatever reason, or things being said, even though, you know, nothing that anyone that I've had on said was meant in any kind of negative way, obviously, but sometimes, especially with arm wrestling, you just have to be objective. And if someone wants me to commentate or give analysis, I'm going to give an objective analysis. When I'm saying I'm being biased, I've always been sure to be good about saying I am being biased. Like, I'm always going to pick the Montana guys from the arm bender. It's just what's going to happen. But I will still give objective analysis and say, who I think on paper should win. So it is what it is. But I think just not having to deal with that and not feeling like, um, I'm always constantly having to have someone ready or on the deck or to do an interview with, I think it'll just be nice. And just when things do kind of naturally come up and happen, then, I'd love to do it. And it could be there as like a bonus thing. But I also think a lot of people do the interviews better. So, they're better listeners and they're better at asking questions. I often get stuck in dialogue when I should be more on the interview mode, but just because it's exciting for me to also participate. And I also feel like such a student, it's hard for me to not want to get involved a little bit deeper into the conversation. But I think a lot of the other channels really, really nail the podcasting style interviews and stuff. So I don't feel like the arm wrestling space is in bad hands by any means, and me leaving will have any negative impact. But um, yeah, like I said, for the arm bender, I'm always going to do whatever. But just in general, maybe I wouldn't expect to see too many interviews. Like I said, when I feel like there's a lot of interesting things going on, I'll probably have someone on just to talk and chat and discuss things. But otherwise, yeah, I think I'm just going to have fun doing this training series and posting more content along the lines of what I'm doing right now with, trying to help people learn from the mistakes I made, um, or just filming my training because, yeah, I don't know, it's just much more enjoyable. And I think I'm reaching and helping more people that way, which feels good. I didn't really think about that aspect when I was starting this channel. It was more just sharing my excitement with everyone. But, hearing all the positive feedback in the comments or in messages I get or people I meet in person, that really had a big impact on me. And I just want to, say thank you guys, especially if you listen to this whole ramble. But yeah, before we get any deeper and keep you here all night, I think we'll just end it there. And yeah, see you guys tomorrow.